When you look at venture capital in the United States, it seems like we are investing a huge amount of money in startups. The practical reality is there's at least an $8 billion a year shortfall in early stage venture investing. And it seems odd that in a country like the United States, you would have that shortfall. In the 50s and the 60s, in every single town in the country, somebody was starting a business. There was a local bank, there were local investors, there was inspiration from people coming back from World War II, all focused on taking on new challenges. And so a combination of people willing to be entrepreneurs and banks and other investors willing to invest in people meant that we started companies all across this country, name brand companies that you see today. And whether they started in the 40s or 50s and 60s, whether McDonnell Douglas, Boeing, all these different kinds of companies grew dramatically during that phase, but it stopped. And part of the reason it started to stop is as we moved into the 70s and the 80s, a combination of things happened. Silicon Valley started taking off in some novel ways, and so some focus was put on Silicon Valley. We saw challenges in our financial markets, and everybody step by step made little corrections in the financial markets that restricted what banks could do and limited the opportunity. Corporations started to get mature, and they went out of the entrepreneurial phase and became bigger and built plants and different things, and so the notion of entrepreneurship sort of quieted down a little bit. The net effect is then we started to concentrate a lot of resources around Boston and Silicon Valley, and somehow along the way started to forget that there are smart people throughout the rest of the country, and there are opportunities for the rest of the country. And what started to happen is they couldn't get access to capital, and so they picked up and moved to Silicon Valley, moved to Boston, moved to the areas that the capital existed, and pulled that talent out. What we're seeing now is, as people understand what entrepreneurship is about, they're starting to come out of local universities right away and see the opportunity to create a new business, to be entrepreneurs. Still a shortfall of capital. Banks are not prepared to sort of close that gap. But with things like iSelect, we're able to provide the resources to fund an ag startup in St. Louis or a medical device startup in Cleveland where that capital wasn't available before.